Hi everyone, this is today is August 27th, month is ending. So we'll have daily analysis, then weekly, and also look at monthly. Okay, so BTC is behaving a following technicals to simply put the wall where it tried to break above multiple attempts, multiple days, failed, then got then here support retried, failed, and then eventually broke down. And when it broke down, we had this support. We mentioned when the day closes, I said that it could bounce, and it did bounce. There were a couple of attempts, but able to stay above it. And then I mentioned that our next important event is the Fed's meeting in Jackson Hole, and it turned out to be the key moment because as we know that these Bitcoin is rate sensitive. So any move or decision from Fed is going to impact Bitcoin. As simple as that. So the fundamentals, other fundamentals do not matter. Only one fundamental matters, which is interest rate. Okay. Um, Fundamentally, and of course the technically. So fundamentals can be anything, but the beauty of technical analysis is it follows TA, and that's why we always have that visibility in terms of key levels. Key levels are nothing but levels where we can have a checkpoint, a decision can be made, so we can have plan in place on these levels. If that's the whole idea. And another thing that I mentioned on the best practice is that you track the closing, not the intraday. Usually, the closing. You may track at 12 hours, by the way, and see how the candle 12 hours is closing. One day is even more better, but sometime 12 hours can be referred. Um, if you are a long-term means multi-week trend swing trader, then you have to rely on weekly, not even daily. Likewise. So 12 hours one day, 3 day, 1 week depends on your trading. Um, what is your time frame for trading, right? So if you are intraday trader, then you have to go for 1 hour and so on. It depends. But as you go lower, things get complicated because there's a lot of noise and you cannot handle each and every move. It's not possible unless you have something like mgrid. Okay, so what else? Then it bounced off, and then 21915 was given. 21915 was the resistance given, and as you could see, there were multiple attempts there as well. And then ultimately Fed said that we'll continue raising interest rate until we see changing inflation or interest, basically. So market didn't like it, and then it dumped because it was expecting the Fed would raise interest rate. But we should not go too much in that. We will stick to our TA, in my opinion. But those events are important. So which I mentioned that it's going to react more after Friday's meeting, and it happened. It came down. So what you see here is the support. So maybe I'll just make it 20,000. Earlier I mentioned I'll just keep 20,000 round figure, which I mentioned 20,000 to 21,000 is a key support band. Okay, that there can be many multiple supports. Even 18,800 is a support, but this 20 to 21K support zone is very important. It's critical in my point of view. So um, at this moment, the environment could be bearish, but to your surprise, you don't have to take hard stand on potential downside move or breakdown. Let me tell you, because this level is not a level where this consolidation actually is broken. Yeah, surprising, right? I mean, I'm telling you, market may get a big surprise when they see a huge bounce and a potential new high from here on. I'm not kidding. It doesn't mean I become bull or bear after bear. It's not that. I'm just saying that based on technical levels, this level is not a level where we can say this whole entire consolidation is broken. So be careful. Um, try to be try to plan based on technical support and resistance that I share, not technical advice. But if you believe in TA, then you can treat this as guide. So this level is not the level where we can say the game is over for the Bulls. This is my message today. Okay. Yeah, if it breaks below 20K, not just break, closes below 20K, and especially 18,800, then we can say it's a it's in big trouble. Especially, I think this level is there, but I think 20K is super important where it stands right now. Okay. So the closing I'm talking about, not just any candle wick. So candle wick can be like sometime it goes up. For an example, there were multiple attempts you see here. So it's not about exact dollar number. It's about closing about that number. So that's the whole idea. So these are a few things you remember. Okay, very important. Yeah. So if this is broken, uh, let's say if it is broken, then we are looking for 15K, 13, 14K to level. I think around 14K, 1K plus minus. So it could be 13K to 15K range. When it comes closer, then I'll be able to update that this is the bottom. At this moment, I would say the lower level is 13 to 15K range. So median level is around 14K. So I would draw one more line here and say 15K. Okay, so this is our band. For now, it's band. And then as I said, as it comes closer, I'll give you more accurate number. So the um, visibility increases as it comes closer to the key level. Right now, this is like blurry sight, but when it comes closer, then it gives clarity, and then I'll be able to pinpoint that, okay, what exactly is the level. And you don't have to worry because it's not going to just go there and go up in matter of hour. I don't think so. I mean, sometimes crazy thing happens, but it will give enough time to think, plan, in my opinion. Okay. So first of all, if you look at many people think in many TA, I don't criticize anyone, but this is where it's shown the sign that okay, now this was the first support. Okay. This was the first support, so to speak, from a trend line point of view. And trend lines are just for visual clue, not for major decision, because then angle could be different and so on. But visually, it gives an idea. So this is the first one, and then this is the second one. You see, this is broken. Now, if you try to draw, you won't be able to draw. But if you change this one to here, then to your surprise, it aligns. Okay, let me zoom in. So the trend line can be drawn in a multiple ways. So that's why people get confused. So if I draw it this way, the structure is intact. Okay, the structure is intact. Get this. So 3TA is tricky, but you don't have to worry. So what I'm saying is, okay, it dropped badly. This also bad drop, but it is following technicals. And at this moment, first, I'm not thinking about new low. Come Monday, if something happens, we'll see. If this closes below, then at this moment, there's no need to think about downside move. I'm short term, saying. On a weekly, we'll see the weekly. I'm talking about daily. Remember, I'm talking, this is a weekly analysis, but For Bitcoin, I go deeper, where for alts, I stick to the weekly. So just to clarify that thing, when I talk about daily, I'm tracking daily. So I'm saying, but a weekly trend is down, we know that, right? But on a daily, I'm saying you don't have to be bearish at this moment. Whatever happened. But today or next 24 hours onwards, I would say for now on, until we see something different, if close is below, until that time, we can say that it's likely to bounce. Very simple, right? Clear message. It means you know what is the support. It means you know what level to be tracked, right? It's very clear. The today's low can be tracked. In fact, this support. So because this low not to be tracked, as I said, closing it has to be tracked. Closing is important. There can be one more tip and then touch and breaks below on an intraday basis, but not necessarily on daily. But you can go on 12 hours, and then 12 hours is also a good guide. It should not close on 12 hours. So if you look at these supports, it didn't close. You see VIX. I mean, look at these attempts, 12 hours. Yeah, it's like that. So a few tips on what all things you need to see and what not to do, not to focus on lows. Okay, so I think one day is clear to everyone. Let's move up and track on weekly. Where's our weekly? Weekly BTC chart. Yeah, Bitstamp. Okay. Okay, I hit some drawings. I was doing something else. So I covered the daily part, so I'm not going to talk anything there. Weekly, and just to reiterate, there's nothing much changed, to be honest. We were here last week. Now it is here. So there's no huge change as far as structure is concerned, because the weekly structure is like this. This are lower than attempt, another leg down and attempt, and now this is coming down. Now, as I mentioned last week, that there can be a double bottom scenarios, right? And that double bottom can happen from here. Sometime it could happen from all the way down, right? And sometime it can happen little lower as well. It's tricky, but we should be able to figure it out. You don't have to worry. And sometimes you don't have to do micromanage. If you're on weekly, you don't have to do a lot, because for example, if it has to go down, let's say from this level, let's say double bottom, it doesn't matter whether you enter at 19K or 18K or 17, 16, 17K, 17K level. It doesn't matter if it is going to go up. So this kind of micromanagement is not needed for those who are tracking on weekly, right? Those who are tracking on weekly will be focusing on the rise on a weekly candle. So right now the weekly is going still down. Week will flip come Monday. If it starts going up, then you may consider that now it is trying to recover, and potentially it might do something like this. And again, so it is like, let's say hypothetically bullish case point of view, come next week it starts bouncing and it makes progress like up to this. Like for example, it went up, down, and this is double bottom scenario. Remember, this is a leg down and a rise, and then comes down, right, and then goes up. It went up for a couple of weeks and then started going down again. So we don't need to figure it out right now. As in when it happens, we'll figure it out. So from a bull case point of view, what we expect is come Monday, starting next week, we would, starting from here, it can start with a bounce. Well, you can see this is the low. It started with a bounce, intra-week bounce, and then next week made progress and so on. So here it can bounce and then make progress and then start going up from next week onwards. Maybe a couple of weeks it takes and then makes kind of a W shape and then goes up like that. So this is a bull case scenario. And as I said, it is possible the next week is also down and it make new low like this and then do what I said, make and it may come down all the way. But whenever the key thing is, if you are tracking on weekly, when it goes up, then that's where you are interested, not when it is still down. So when you're tracking, you have to forget what I said on daily, because as I said, the trends are different at different time frame. When you track on daily, it can be bullish. When you track on weekly, it can be bearish and so on. So at different time frame, the trend can be different. This is to be understood. And many people who are new do not understand this. So I'm just reiterating. So when you talk about weekly, whatever I said on daily, you have to put aside. You can have two accounts, by the way, but you cannot mix your strategy. You know what I'm saying? So on a daily, I said it is bouncing and it could continue bounce, but on a weekly, it's not bouncing. Okay, price is not the measure. You want to see the green candle, that's a sign. Okay, if it is bouncing, that's not bouncing because you're still in the red candle. You would like to see a next week or whenever it turns green. So if it bounces like crazy, let's say in next 48 hours or so, 36 hours, and if it turns green, then you can say, okay, but it's unlikely to happen. So next week, if it starts with green and continue, then you can say rise. Rise is not, rise is, when I say rise means it has to make a green candle and then make progress with respect to the prior candle. So this is another clarification. Sometimes this is not so clear, and so I'm making it clear now. Okay, so a little bit of bounce on a weekly doesn't matter. You want to see this candle turning green. That's what matters. And especially the candle has to close with green. That is even more important, not just green intra-week, but it has to close. So those who are trading on a weekly need to be more patient because it has to be like that. Right? And if anyone who shorted in November would be in huge gain, and that person would not care about all this noise. So, but as I said, the same person can have two strategy, can be bearish on weekly and bullish on daily. It's not contradiction, not at all. Contradiction happens when you mix up. It's very difficult because you are the same person. So you are kind of, you try to take a side, but that's not trading. Okay, the good trader isolate himself or herself. When he or she becomes a trader, swing trader on a weekly basis, that person would be bearish at this moment. The person who is on a daily, same person, but character-wise different, let's say, that trader, right, same person, but that trader on a daily basis would do. So you could have two accounts. One account is trading on weekly, another account can trade on daily, and so on. So there's no contradiction. Contradiction happens when you mix up because the person is same. Don't mix up two roles. Very important. These are few best practices I'm sharing. I must have shared earlier, but it's always worthwhile sharing few things again, because people sometimes misunderstand that, hey, this guy is bull and now he's talking about bear. No, it's about time frame. Okay, there's no change in stand. Okay, so this is a bullish case. As I mentioned, on a weekly basis, it can happen from here, or anytime. And of course, if it closes below 17K, then it will resume. And then we can say, in that case, sorry, then in that case, it follows this one. And it could be not all the way down, of course. We have that 13K, 14K, 15K level. So it may not make a deep move. We will have checkpoint around 13K to 15K range, as I mentioned. So this, even if it breaks below 17K, I think this is a very hot, heavy resistance support zone. Okay. Of course, if it continue going down, we'll see. And then in that case, we know that it can go up to 9K to 10K range. So we'll first 13K to 15K range, and then the next range is 9K to 10K. And as and when it comes close, I should be able to pinpoint. Okay. So I hope this is clear, very simple. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. So this ends the BTC analysis. Now we'll move into the alt. And again, I think we'll stick to the weekly time frame as usual. And we'll be focusing on relative strength. And there's no surprise why alts are green, because BTC stopped dropping. What BTC, so BTC is stabilizing at this moment, as you could see on a lower time frame on a 1 day. It's stabilizing, it's consolidating, right? So that's why alts are going up. And you know that alts love it. Like if BTC, they go mad only when the BTC goes mad. So it's proven, right? So there's no need to repeat that. So now we are going to look at the relative strength. Like if BTC went down, we are going to see how much different coins drop, right? This is just to understand their strength. And by the way, the strength of different coins vary. So this week, the strength of certain coin could be, good, but not good next week, and so on. So that's the whole idea. We'll try to see who is who is holding up the level, right? Because that will give you the idea. So if you have multiple selection, then at least give you that filter criteria that with respect to, so there are two things we are going to measure, see. One is when the BTC dropped yesterday, so how much value it lost. Okay. And then second aspect that we are going to focus is how far they are from their lowest point, right? So these two data points will give us the relative strength of the alt. So if you have multiple alts and you want to buy something or enter with something, then at least that will give you important measure for you to select and filter out. So so we are going to focus on that, right? So there is no confusion that the weekly trend is still down. Okay. However, the game is not over, as I said, so I won't repeat what I said. So if BTC is going to bounce, they are going to bounce. Okay. There's no need to repeat those things. Okay, look at Atom. Atom is still in a green candle. So first of all, it's green. That tells you that it's strong. Forget about other things. It didn't make new low compared to prior. It's a bit, in fact, it's stronger than BTC, whether you like it or not. BTC made new low compared to prior week, but the Atom didn't. You see that's, so it's an easy way to find out. Say Atom is even stronger than BTC. Again, I'm not trying to compare each and every coin with BTC, but I'm going to take some samples to highlight. As I said, the whole idea is to figure it out which coin is holding up well, who is far from the support, who hasn't given up its level, and so on. So it will tell you that which one is actually the front runner. So Atom is definitely the strong ones, right? I mean, one of the strong ones. EVAX is not so. And whatever I'm saying is for this week and for the recent last couple of weeks of analysis, right? It's not forever. Down the line, AVAX could go mad and make a huge candle. It could change everything. So we have to go week by week. And this relative strength is with respect to this week and the last week. BNB, no new low, not bad. Grow almost the same level, not much, no big major low, more or less the same. So we can say that's holding up the last week's low. Doge made new low, right? But nothing, but still this weekly candle is still small than this. So I would say it's not that aggressive. Okay. If this is also tiny candle, right? So not that aggressive, then the level is not so deep. If you look at, so it's maintaining but look at that. This is very close to the support or the prior low, right? Very close to the prior low. But the atom, if you look at it, it's way above this prior low or the recent major low, right? This one, way above. So this is not just way above and also green, and not only that, it is higher than the previous close. So from all this respect, atom is one of the strongest ones so far we have seen, right? I hope you're getting this. So this is close to this, so not bad. EGRD is still there doing nothing, right? It's kind of horizontal. ETH, Ethereum made new low, but it's still far. It's not like atom, but it's still far. You see, it's still far. Atom is somewhere here. Again, I'm not trying to make the atom as a benchmark, but just for comparison. File shows the weakness, new low, and also close to the prior low. Not prior week's low, but this major low. Flux, I mentioned this one of the strongest one, and it's still showing that strength. So green candle, green weekly, it's telling us a lot, and it's far from the low. So definitely it's showing the strength, not just strength, but look at the 6% rise, also indicating that it really wants to go up. So they are going down because of the algorithm, and because BTC forced them to go down and the market in general, but they really want to go up. Their bots want to push the price up. FTM is like mid-level, new low, but nothing major though. This is weak coin. Gala is a weak coin at this moment. It's close to the low. There's no major bounce, so you can clearly see weakness. But this coin has a tendency to make a big move like this one, so you never know. It can make a huge candle and then it can recover. So we are not trying to compete here, but trying to understand what they're doing. So HNT, last week I mentioned this is one of the weakest one, and it is proven it has made new low. Forget about how close it has made new low. So we can simply say this is the weakest so far in the lot. But interestingly, remember, when everybody was going down, HNT made new low, which is very important. In last year, this correction started. This was the Bitcoin top. So HNT made new high, not just once, but twice. It actually went down starting from November last year, where most of the coins started going down. When the BTC started going down, few coins like I think Luna or FTM, some coins made new high after BTC made a new high. But the HNT even did even better and made even a higher high. So HNT was a hero last year. But if you look at this is zero, I'm just saying for fun. It's not zero, but what I mean is this was a star one, but it's no longer the same. The shine is not the same, right? It's dimming, you can say. So if you can, so that's what this is what I always say. Don't make any coin a very favorite coin. You never know. It might be for 1 month, it might be for 1 year, but it may not feel for long term, not necessarily. And this is from experience, and you must have experience as well. So HNT this year is pathetic. It's performing really badly. It made new low compared to many other coins, right? So probably the only one coin. We'll see which and the active list coin making new low in my opinion, but we'll see. Okay, KCS, it has been amazing, but here it's not showing any major move so far. No major issue here compared to last week. It's holding up. KDA, nothing major. No real, no big bounce. LINK link is also coming close. Not bad. More like BTC. ETC similar. LTC similar. No major move there. Luna, we can ignore. MANA. again coming close to this low, so weak one. So at this moment, Matic is one of the strongest. You know why? I don't have to explain. It's far from the this low. It's holding up. Look at that. Not just that, it's up by 5%. Very difficult to short Matic. Very difficult. Those who short Matic is playing with fire. One, another thing on about shorting, people sometimes try to go for the strong one. Actually, when again, this is not advice, but my observation. When you short the weakest coin, because when BTC bounces, that coin bounces also slowly. For example, Matic is very weak. Sorry, this strongest, my bad, strongest, and Filecoin is weak, or HNT is weak at this in this last few weeks. So we have to see in last few weeks which are um, which are. I'm just naming few. I'm not necessarily saying that those are the only one. I think there are a few more as well, right? So LTC, for example, weak one. So they are not bouncing enough, so they're easy to short because they don't move up fast. But Matic like coin or FTM or Atom or these some coins are crazy like Flux, and they are very dangerous. Okay, RNDR is again approaching this low, weaker one. It got rejected here. Sandcoin, okay, sort of, it's okay, not bad. It's mid-level. SKL also major volatile coin. SOL is also weak coin compared. It used to be a star one, but you see, there's no shining here. This is like an amazing move in last year, and this is equally the opposite. Whatever is the reason, who cares? But it is not the same coin, characteristic wise. So that's all. So I think you got the idea. um, I think I covered everything that I wanted to. I hope you have clarity as well. If not, ask me. So I'm ending this session. I hope this will help. Thanks everyone.